At the time of recording this video, Amazon's Prime Day was yesterday, and I also saw reports of workers planning to protest Prime Day. That is the inspiration for this video. Now, we always hear about how big businesses treat their lower level employees like shit, especially in the United States, or if they have operations in third world developing countries. How they should pay their workers more, give them more benefits, ensure they have a better work-life balance, and so on. But one thing I seldom hear brought up relating to all of this is the customer base of all these businesses. Nobody aside from a few economists and other individuals who commentate on societal economic issues ever thinks to put some of the blame onto the consumer. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like I said, Prime Day is why I'm making this video, and all these people who use Amazon and have Prime accounts usually are the same ones who bitch the loudest about how unfair Amazon is to their employees. We hear from plenty of these news organizations that Amazon has a grueling work environment with crazy high quotas, long working hours, mandatory overtime, and low wages, but I guess it's just too complicated for the average Joe to realize that them using Amazon and constantly buying shit and having a Prime account that gives them 2-day or same-day delivery is the cause of why the worker experience is so insane in those warehouses. I hate to just beat up on Amazon because I actually like Amazon. It's easy and convenient to use. There's even some talk that because it brought prices down and changed the game, that it also helped lower inflation. But I don't have a Prime account. As impatient as I can be, I don't see the need of having a Prime account demanding my purchase gets to me within 24 to 48 hours. It gets to me when it gets to me. It's not like I don't know where it is. There's tracking always available on your account. If I really wanted something that quick, I'd just go buy it at Walmart or Best Buy or wherever. Sure, the convenience of having something delivered to you is awesome and all, but my point is the delusional apathy that the public has towards this whole system. Amazon has spoiled its customer base, which now looks at 24 to 48 hour purchase to delivery as the norm, therefore directly contributing to the higher quotas, workplace injuries, and mandatory overtime. Now again, let me be clear, I'm not saying don't use Amazon, because it's a company that has provided great value to society and created hundreds of thousands of jobs across the world. But plenty of you, even left-wing people, amazingly enough, rant and protest against Amazon, yet will use their service and subscribe to their Prime service and use it the same day or the next. So spare me your fucking virtue signaling. Now, will Amazon automate more jobs in the future? Oh, you better believe it. And it's not inherently wrong that they do. Machines work constantly, all day, don't get pregnant, don't complain, don't take vacation, don't call in sick, and don't ask for raises. So yeah, pretty much all big businesses are going to continue to automate jobs and get rid of low-skilled laborers. It's inevitable. The hope is that product services become even cheaper because businesses will quickly save money and can afford to lower prices. But I don't want to get into all that. I just bring it up because if you watch a few videos about Amazon on YouTube, you'll see that there are plenty of robots already being used in their warehouses, or I guess they call them fulfillment centers, working alongside their laborers. That's the future. It just is. I don't want to delve too deep into the whole, well, they should just get a better job argument, because unlike those capitalist libertarian scumbags, I actually have compassion for people, especially those who are stuck, and Amazon is unfortunately the best job that they could get. My only advice is either grit and bear it and find any way you can to get out of it and go back to school and get a better job. For those of you who are stuck because they had multiple kids they couldn't afford, whether married or not, I don't have as much compassion. I mean, I have some, but not as much because that was self-inflicted 100%. You shouldn't have kids at all until you have a good job and are financially stable and preferably married. And that's something I hope younger kids in high school and college are getting hammered home to them these days. Because having kids when you're poor can wreck your fucking life, and it's also not fair to the child. With all that said, could Amazon be better to their employees? Yes, I suppose. With all those crazy stories about workplace injuries, bathroom break penalties, and so on, yeah, it seems like pure hell from the outside looking in. And could they pay their workers more? Sure, I assume so. They all get a minimum of $15 an hour now, as far as I know. But I don't know how much Amazon nets per year after all the costs that they have to pay for at the same time. I'm sure their net gross is usually billions each year, but I don't look at their financial spreadsheets. Perhaps they could increase the pay to $16, $16.50, or even $17, but I don't know. Just realize that paying all their workers $1 or $2 more an hour could cost Amazon millions more each year. Another reason they'll just speed up automation. But trust me, I totally see the criticism of how Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world, yet the vast majority of his employees are the working poor. some even reportedly on food stamps and other government subsidies that we pay for. It's a clear example of wage inequality, but it is also not as black and white as that. Perhaps some of the solutions to these problems we have in the world in regards to wage slavery and such as worker cooperatives. I believe it was Richard D. Wolff who regularly talks about the good that worker co-ops can bring, who also brought up the selfish apathy that American consumers have. If not him, then someone else, but I wanted to bring him up because worker co-ops can be a good alternative to the traditional model we have now. Is it perfect or destined to succeed? No. One, it's hard as fuck for a worker co-op to even get a bank loan or any kind of funding to get started. And then there's the threat of Walmart, Target, Costco, or Dollar General setting up shop in the same town as you, essentially ruining your business. But with manufacturing and engineering worker co-ops, they could be safer. Again, I'm no expert. Just watch a few Richard D. Wolff videos if you want to know all about worker co-ops and workplace democracy, because he is the expert. There are benefits to that system because there's democracy in the workplace, worker productivity goes up because they own a piece of the business, and there's job security because the business won't be able to fuck over their workers and move to China to save a few bucks. And I'll just leave it at that. Do I share in any blame in all this? Probably. I do use Amazon sometimes, but not to a crazy extent, and my business does its small fractional part in keeping it going. But consumers as a whole do share in the blame on how grueling it can be to work at Amazon, especially Prime members. It's not just with Amazon, but in other aspects like going to Walmart to buy cheap Chinese-made shit instead of supporting your local mom and pop shops and other local small town businesses. I'll just leave it at that. If you are a rigid Amazon hater and feel like protesting outside their warehouse, but also use their service regularly and are a Prime member, just shut the fuck up.